Hello and welcome to the Miles with Moms podcast. This is a podcast for moms who run by moms who run. And our goal with this podcast is for mother runners everywhere to never have to run alone or feel alone in their mom life struggles or journey to accomplishing big goals, because taking time to take care of yourself and to chase big goals as a mom is not only okay, it's awesome for you and all the lessons that you're teaching your kids. Okay, just a warning, we do tend to swear sometimes, so don't be listening to this with your kids around, especially if they're of the age where they know what swear words are. Okay, so today we are talking about fueling, because we've gotten a lot of questions about fueling, how we fuel, tips, mistakes, etc. So before we get into that, let's do a quick intro so you know the voices of us, because we have 4 hosts here. So I am Whitney. I am the Midwestern nasal voice. Olivia.
I'm Olivia, and I'm the chattiest one. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm Trisha. I'm the one that will probably drop an F-bomb or two throughout the...
Just get it over with, just do it. I'm fucking Trisha.
Yeah, fucking A, man. All right. Or
And then
maybe
sweet
it'll be
Shanna.
Shanna.
I'm Shanna, and I'm the saint of the group. With my sleeping toddler in the background.
Oh my goodness. So she's
You'll be
not
hearing
going to be
some words.
swearing.
Yeah.
Because otherwise
Yeah,
it might be a
I think
tie
he doesn't
between
know.
the two of us.
Yeah, there
Yeah,
you
The
go.
mouth.
So we're recording this on a Sunday, and Trisha, you said that you were at a soccer game and something happened.
Yeah,
Balls.
So my son, okay, if you listened to last week, you heard, the downfall that we went into on the topic of balls. And I have a thing for balls, apparently, and I was smacked in the face with a ball today. Right to the face.
A
Ball
soccer
to the
ball,
face.
to be clear.
A soccer ball, to be clear, just one. But I do have a mark on my head.
Oh,
So
God.
what happened was I was watching my son play, and there was this big sports complex, so there's multiple games going on, and a coach went to get the ball directly in front of me for his team that was behind me. So he picks the ball up. I wasn't paying any attention. I'm just staring at the game, and he kicks it like full force, 10 feet from me, directly to my head.
It was an adult that hit you in the head.
Yes.
Oh, this is so much worse.
It's like if it had hit me in the nose, it would have broken my nose. I was icing my head right
Are
before.
you okay? I mean, you don't have a
I'm fine.
concussion, do you?
She's like, sorry, the noise of it would have made me laugh so hard if I was next to you. Just like the.
Well, and that was one of those like audible, like, oh, from like everyone else around. And so this poor guy, like, I actually know him from like pre-kid life. We used to all go out and party and stuff, and I haven't seen him in years. And I thought he was gonna cry. He was like, I am so sorry. Like, are you okay? But it hit me like I had sunglasses on, and it hit me right like at the bridge of my sunglasses. So my sunglasses like went right into my
jammed
head.
into your. Did he break your glasses?
No, somehow gooder.
Gooder.
Yeah,
Gooder. You want to sponsor us, Gooder?
Please. Yep, they are some sturdy glasses. But it, honestly,
here's the ad. I can't. The ad read. You're just like, listen, if you're in a soccer game and
oh yeah, so it was quite entertaining. I
it's
did feel good.
I'm glad you're okay, because then
Thank you.
I don't feel like a bad person thinking like I would have loved to have seen that happen.
My brother, he's like, please tell me there was a video. I'm like, unfortunately, but he was laughing. I mean, it had to have looked hysterical. I mean, I got nailed in the face, like by a grown man.
I am very
grown man. Yeah. It's okay. It's all right. You gotta laugh.
Nailed him.
Please. Hi.
Hi, Charlotte.
So, just your typical
Okay,
Sunday
so you're
afternoon.
just
So funny.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, well, we're glad you're okay. And once again,
Thank
this is
you.
another episode where we'll be like, if Trisha starts just babbling or like seeing things, we'll give you a pass.
Thanks. Just cut me off. Just mute me.
Okay. Well, on that note, Trisha, so we started last episode. We started doing something that we want to do every episode, which is a mother runner of the week, like mom that's doing awesome that we want to shine a little light on. And so, Trisha, I believe that you have somebody, right?
I do. So this week we are shouting out Tess Shipinski. She is a homeschooling mom of 4, a small business owner. She owns Run My Life Journal and Planner, which is, I actually use it. It's a really nice journal and planner where you can record your mileage and talk about your runs. And then it just kind of lays out your day. It's a really nice way to get into journaling.
Does it have journal prompts in there?
It does. Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, it's really, really nice. So her story, she's been running since she was 20, continued to run through postpartum and pregnancy, but then she had a miscarriage postpartum of her 3rd pregnancy, and then she also lost her dad. So she went through a time where she was really struggling. And when she found out when she was pregnant with her 4th baby, she was in the trenches of grief, and she knew that she needed something to keep her mind going. So she started this, what she calls a metamorphic morning routine, where she meditates, she reads, she journals, and then she runs. And she says that running is just something that she does for herself. It's about the chasing down the fastest, strongest, most resilient, best person she can be. It's her anchor. She is so incredible. And I have just major respect for anyone that homeschools their children.
Yeah.
Because
Wow.
I could not. So the fact that she is homeschooling 4 of them and runs her own business and just ran a 1:30 half in Las Vegas this morning.
Yes.
Massive shout out to Tess.
Awesome.
So awesome.
I follow her, I believe, but I didn't know her backstory. So thank you for sharing that. It is really powerful. I'm going to look into her
She's
journal
awesome.
because having a journal prompt, I think, is really, really helpful. I try to journal every morning, and sometimes I just feel like I don't know, it's not as helpful. Just
Right.
yeah, whatever.
she-
just like rambling and getting it all out there. I feel like having a theme or like something that's thought provoking would be nice.
Exactly. Yeah. She lays out. So it's like, what's your intention for the day? What are your goals for the day? Yeah. So it really makes you kind of think.
I love that.
Good. But way to go,
That's
Tess.
so great.
Keeps those ADHD people on track.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, yeah.
My problem is like I start things and then I don't.
Mhm.
I like my mind goes to like grocery list. Now I'm on Walmart and I go right. And
Yes.
then I forget that I'm supposed to
cleaning.
do what yeah, exactly.
I have a little journal, and it's all every page is the same. It's milk, coffee, creamer, cereal, and it's like, how did that happen? But like the first few pages were like really good intention, but I saw this thing that it said it was like if I journaled, it would not only be how crazy my thoughts are, but there's also evidence of it. And I was like, yeah, that's about where I stand.
shoot.
So I definitely like the idea of prompts just to stay on track. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, cool. I didn't know that she had that, so I'm definitely going to look into it because I do. Obviously, I like to write. That's what my background is in, and so
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
love that.
guys, are we ready to get into our fueling topic? Because
Let's do
I feel like fueling is just it's so important, but it's also something that people just really can struggle with when you're doing long distance. I want to be clear to everybody listening: we are not registered dietitians, so this is not professional medical
No, I know.
advice. We are just sharing from our experience. And as a running coach, like I kind of have like a general overview, but when my athletes have specific issues, I'm like, I work with several RDs that I highly recommend. And, so if you are dealing with a very specific issue, go see somebody who has gone to college for this.
Right.
Not somebody who is just like run and experience a whole bunch. But Okay, so I kind of want to start this, and you guys agreed, talking about our like most epic fails for fueling, our biggest mistakes. I'm going to nominate Olivia to go first.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Where do I? So I have so many funny stories about fueling. Because it's just something I was like such a novice about. And it starts with that I ate a Cliff Bar in the middle, like a Cliff Bar. And Cliff Bars are great. Shout out Cliff Bars. Cliff Bars are awesome. I'm just kidding, guys. After the Gooder thing, I was like, yeah. But like in the middle of running, Cliff Bars are just not ideal to eat while you run. Maybe for some people, but I believe it was mile 18. I thought, this is what I'll have right now. And why it was even, I think my husband may have brought me one like at mile 13 and I had it in my hand because I was like, yeah, this is fuel. So I remember chewing them and like, oh, my legs are tired, my jaw is tired, like everything, you know? And so that then changed into a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, which once while I was pacing a race, I like was so anxious to pace. This was my first marathon and I couldn't get it down in the car. So I brought it and I'm standing there at the start line and I was like, well, I don't want to just throw this away. I need to eat it. And so I carried this sandwich with me for like 14 miles and I took 2 bites and then it slipped out of my hand. Yeah. So like, and so once I finally scrapped that, and once I actually scrapped the food, the riskiest move I ever made was actually not that long ago. And I decided to just take someone was handing out the like go-go squeeze apple pouches at like mile 18 of just this group of volunteers. And I was so desperate for something that I grabbed it. And I don't eat applesauce ever, never trained with it. Applesauce to me is so risky because it's high in fiber. So anybody who takes in like baby food or applesauce while they run, I'm like really impressed by it that your stomach can handle it. And I don't know why. I remember eating it and being like, this is so risky. And luckily it was fine. But after that, every time I see those pouches, I'm like, ooh, I don't know. Because I know what they do to my kids. And so I was like, I just hope it doesn't do that to me.
So did you end up having to run to a porta potty?
Luckily, no. No, that was when I did almost everything right at my last marathon. Was my only bathroom stop I've ever had to make. But honestly, when I look back on that, like the night before we went to, like, usually you do something really simple, you know, but we were visiting my mom and stuff, and she lives in a really cute town. And it has lots of like really cute restaurants that can be kind of hard to get reservations at. And so they got a good reservation at this Mexican restaurant. And
Oh no.
yeah, and I may have indulged in a margarita the night before, and
Oh my goodness.
oh no, I'm gonna send her out really quick.
Okay, so Mexican and margaritas and applesauce. No go.
Frankie. I love how all of our faces, as soon as she said Mexican, we're like,
ooh.
That's
know.
never good.
It's so risky. It's not pre-run fuel, but boy, was it good in the moment.
I'm feeling very optimistic about your CIM coming up, just on the basis that you are not going to be eating Mexican the night before. I mean,
Right.
please, just don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah,
I don't care. Save that for
no
after the race.
Yes, it's so much better after the race too. Like, oh my gosh, there will be no Mexican. There will be no applesauce pouches. There will be no peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Yeah.
Okay. Lessons learned. Many lessons learned. All right, Shanna, do you have
So
any
many.
like epic fail?
Yeah, so my very first half I ran it with my husband. It honestly turned me off from half marathons. I was like a one and done for a long time because I was like, that was brutal. But yeah, I had no idea about like feeling because I came from like the 5K background, you know, like what's eating while you run? Like nobody does that. And so I like really, yeah, I hopped into this race. Me and my husband ran. It's like a vacation race. It was the Teton half. And I literally mile 7, I took no gels, nothing, passed all the water stations, thought like, why are these people getting water? Like, and then mile 7 hit and I was done. And I was like mile 7. I still had like half the race to go. And I finally was just like, this is so stupid. Why did I sign up for this race? So I turned around. I was like, I'm going to go get my husband and just run with him the rest of the way. And he was like upset with me. He was like, why didn't you just keep going? But anyway, so I'm running with him and I literally, there's no porta potties like where I'm at. I'm having to go up and down this side of this hill and go to the bathroom like 15 times from like mile 7 to mile 13.1. And my husband, poor thing, he was like, you're slowing me down. Like, and I was just like, just go. I'll try to catch you. And it was so bad. And anyways, I had pizza the night before, and it was like this hole in the wall, like very greasy pizza. It wasn't like anything like plain, and it went right through me. It was so bad, and I was probably dehydrated too on top of that. So yeah, that experience was so awful. I was like, I'm never doing a half ever again. Yeah, my second half after that was just as bad. I took one goo with me and I ate half of it over the whole 13 miles and never ate another. I came a long way since that point.
I feel like we all have to learn the lesson the hard way. What about you, Trisha?
Yeah, definitely same. Like from the beginning, because I started running marathons in college, and I literally didn't know fueling was a thing. Like even training, I had like a Runner's World magazine, and it was like a Hal Higdon run a marathon plan. Like I knew nothing.
That's what I used too.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's so funny. Yeah, so training, like I never drank water, and I was in Florida. Like I don't even know how I managed to survive those runs, but in my very first 20 miler ever, I was in Virginia. It was 15 degrees the day before, because this was before Garmin's. I had like a Timex watch. I got in the car with my dad. We drove like 20 miles out, and I ran with nothing, no water, no fuel. I just didn't know it was a thing. So when I ran my first marathon, I was at mile like 18, and I was running with these two guys, and they're like, "Do you have any goos?" And I was like, "A what? Like who?" They're like, "No, you need to take this." And I had never, so I took it and it hit my stomach like a brick. Like,
gosh.
And it ended up, I was fine. But I was like, okay, yeah, fueling, that's like what we should do here. But yeah, so total novice. But right? But then, so not during a race, but I feel like this just needs to be talked about. Have you guys ever seen the Hot Wing Challenge show? It's called Hot Ones.
I don't think so.
No, I mean, I know
sounds
Hot
good.
Wing Challenge, like challenges exist, which I just don't understand.
Yeah, so my whole family goes to the Outer Banks in North Carolina and does a beach week every year.
fun.
And my brother-in-law was a big fan of this show, so he ordered this like hot sauce sampler. Okay, so it's like, I don't know, 18 different sauces, and we did this challenge. And the next morning, I go for a run. Like, I thought my insides were going to just like,
Oh my gosh.
like it was awful going in. Like I can't
Spicy
even
coming
tell
out.
you.
Oh,
That's
So
awful.
and like at the beach, there's no porta potties randomly, and like I was running and I was like, oh my god, like I am going to shit my pants, like 100%. And out of nowhere, this porta potty just like appears.
Stop.
At this,
Oh
like,
my gosh.
house. Like,
No.
it was like it's either a mirage or like this is just like the porta potty sent down from the heavens. So
That's
like
baby.
beeline to the end to this porta potty. There's like people outside with their families drinking coffee, and I just like hightail it like straight into this.
And there was no
made it.
toilet paper. I'm just kidding.
It was like 95 degrees in there. Oh god, it was awful.
Gosh, that's so gross.
Gosh, yeah. So another lesson, in addition to Mexican, never do a hot wing challenge the night before a long run. Yeah, it was,
That's
oh
good.
god, it was awful.
that's
Good
this
little
is great.
PSA.
These are great.
Oh my,
Right.
oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
And they're
We've
like,
all
okay,
had-
I want to know like how many grams of carbs I need per hour. And we're like, no, just don't eat pizza, don't eat the hot
Yeah.
wing, don't eat
Yeah.
the chicken.
Just
Okay,
bloating.
well, I'm going to add to the list with mine.
Yes, please do.
I've obviously, I mean, I feel like anybody who's been into the sport for a while has like a bevy of stories, but mine is,
Yes.
I like back in my early 20s when we make a lot of bad, decisions. I remember I got home from work and I was like laying on the couch and I was tired and trying to get the energy to like go to the track that night to do, I don't know, whatever workout I had. And I was just sitting there and I had the Kashi Crunch cereal, which has like, I think it has like 17 grams of fiber per
Shameless
serving. And
plug, Kashi.
Kashi, that's what you. Yeah, it's like, and there's probably like 8 to 10 servings in a box. And like, I don't know about you guys, but like, who stops at one serving of cereal? I don't know.
No.
So yeah,
no
so
one.
I'm just like, I'm just eating it by the handful. I'm just like laying on the couch, like eating. And like, sure enough, the whole box is gone. And by then, it's like dark. It's like 8 o'clock, and I'm like, I really need to go to the track and do this workout because I got to get up and go to work the next day. So I go, and it was, oh my God, it was like, it wasn't even like I didn't have to use the toilet. Like the release would have been nice. It was like my stomach was just like this giant balloon. I felt like there were like living things inside of it, like fighting it out. I mean, it was like if you remember that movie Alien, where like, I mean, it was so bad. It was so bad.
Oh my gosh.
But I got the workout done. I mean, it was fun.
Wow, that's honestly so impressive.
Right. Please share with everyone what you referred to Kashi as. No shade for Kashi.
I called it colon blow. It's my colon blow cereal. Kashi is great if you want to be regular guys. There's my Kashi plug, but not in mass quantities and not for a track workout.
I hate that I know exactly what you're talking about. Like, I've had to wear a leotard multiple times after eating too much Kashi cereal. I remember, I think that's like what they had at my ballet boarding school as they had like Raisin Bran and then Kashi, and you would just keep kind of going up and. Oh, yeah.
And then sure enough, like a couple minutes later, you look like you're expecting.
Yeah,
stomach was just
bloating was unreal.
You have been afflicted by Kashi as well.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh. It's so funny. I feel like whenever I went to a long run with Shanna, now I'm always like, what did you eat the night before? It's like, just kidding. Because I remember this. She had no, it was just one time. She had told me the pizza story. She had told me the pizza story, and after that, I was like, "Oh no, can she be trusted?" Now she's like, "I had sushi last night, so I should be fine."
Yep.
Sushi?
Yeah.
No, yes. Well, it's the rice. I think it's because it's majority rice and like the fish is really light.
Oh yeah,
it's
and
like just don't do like the hot mayo, whatever that sauce is called, because that'll do some like heartburn the next day. But yeah, sushi is really good. I can't do pizza, but I could do sushi.
Interesting.
I could do sushi.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I've never tried it.
Really?
Yeah, that's a good one.
I feel like because it's like high. I mean, I feel like it's high enough in carbs, but still light. Although I am always hungry after I eat sushi, like after an hour.
Oh yeah, that's so
why
true.
you have a bowl of ice
stick.
cream after that too.
Yeah,
sushi and ice cream. Oh my gosh, that does not sound appetizing.
Well, I'll never have a 6-pack.
Please.
Okay.
Yeah, I know, right?
So let's talk about okay, again, I don't want this, like, I think we all agree we don't want this to be like, this is what I eat as a marathoner type of, but like, what are some of your like tried and true like breakfast going into a long run or like a longer workout for you guys? Like I'm very much just, bagel with peanut butter, but not too much peanut butter because I can go crazy with peanut butter. I love my peanut butter and coffee. That's just kind of and like sometimes like this morning I did my long run this morning, and this morning I think I had like 2 of those Kodiak waffles with some peanut butter and like half a banana and 2 cups of coffee. And I like to wake up kind of early and
I'm always curious how you guys digest coffee. I don't drink coffee, but like, does it not colon blow you too?
So I need it. I drink it to help me colon blow before I go out the door. Like my grandma, this was amazing.
You're like,
Is this the term you're using now?
I don't know what it's like, but I know so many runners that they have to drink their coffee before they go out, and they say it's like amazing. It's a miracle like maker. And I'm like,
Oh, it makes it. I mean, it makes it
feel like my
happen.
stomach
There's
would
no
just,
like sitting around. Yeah. I don't know. I guess it depends on everybody, but like that's like I
Yeah.
just look at coffee and I'm like, I gotta go to the bathroom. Like it just has that effect on me.
Yes.
I had my grandma, she would like cancel all of plans for the day if she didn't poop that morning. Which
Oh my god. Oh my
we were
gosh.
visiting her in Florida and we were supposed to go to Disney that day. And I remember she walked out of the bathroom, she was like, it's canceled.
Oh my god. That's so funny.
Wow.
So
That's
She
wild.
needed some kashi.
she needed some coffee and some coffee, and she would have been good.
Yeah.
Whole and blow every morning. I never got to go to Disney because of that. I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
Okay, so that's kind of my staple. Just like simple carbs, not a lot of fat, not too much protein, and the coffee works for me.
Is your race day routine the same as like your long run routine, or are you like fine with any kind of simple carb as long as
a good
you've tried
question.
it out?
Yeah, if we're traveling, usually I'll try to bring a bag of my bagels with me.
That's good.
Yeah, I like simple carbs. Yeah, like toast, waffles, bagels. They're good.
Mhm.
What about you, Olivia?
So this is a really unfortunate thing about me is I'm just really irresponsible about all things food related because, well, it's like I don't eat very clean just in general. That sounds really bad, but I am like my husband, he makes really great food. And so sometimes like he can, you know, if he decides to cook the night before a long run, like I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm not going to eat that. But he cooks
yeah.
like absolutely beautiful food. But a lot of beautiful food requires a lot of butter and things like that. And so like, that's not super ideal, obviously. So, I sometimes wake up the next day like not feeling fantastic, and it's so like I get very nervous before like a long run workout. Like almost like not the same as race day nerves, but similar. And so for me it's just really hard to get anything down. So, I always have a cup of coffee. That's pretty much a non-negotiable. I don't think it actually affects my workouts if I don't have a cup of coffee, but it's like I don't even know if it's like the mental part of it, just like that feeling of like, ooh, I woke up a little bit more today. But and then this I have to eat like so plain, and it's so dry and so gross. So I'll do like plain toast, a plain English muffin, a plain bagel. And like a lot of times I'll be walking to the start line with my very plain item, but it's just because that's all I can stomach. I just get very, very, very nervous, and not like nervous stomach where I feel like I have to use the bathroom like over and over again. It's just so nervous. I feel like I literally cannot swallow anything. And it happens to me even for workouts sometimes, like if I know I'm going to hit certain paces or want to hit certain paces. So, what's helped me a lot now is, I live far from where all of my running friends are. So it takes me about 45 minutes to drive to them. So a lot of times I'll have my drive and I can like chill out a little bit, eat, get something down, where before I would wake up 15 minutes before meeting them, be too nervous to eat anything, and then kind of rely on gels to get me through. Which is, I know that's not what you're supposed to do. I'm very well aware of that, but that's unfortunately just how it is sometimes. But I go through like a love-hate relationship with oatmeal. Like some days some months it's like, I just cannot stomach this. And then, but then if some elite athlete is like, I just have my bowl of oatmeal, I'm like, I can stomach it too. I can do that. I want to run fast like them. So yeah, it's like,
Olivia
I
and
do
her
so much
complicated relationship with oatmeal.
I know. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Don't even get me.
It's delicious, but it has a lot of fiber too. I learned that lesson.
Yes.
I accidentally got like the oatmeal with the double fiber like earlier this year.
Oh.
And I don't know about you, but who eats just one packet of oatmeal? And so I was eating
No.
like the two, and then my stomach was like jacked up every night. And I was like, I don't know what's up with me, Jake. I don't know if I'm sick. Jake's my husband. And he was like, Whit, you're eating like so much fiber in that oatmeal every afternoon. I'm like, oh my, you're totally
goodness.
right. I'm so stupid.
That's
like I didn't even think about it.
crazy.
It's like 30 grams of fiber.
Oh, wow.
There's a
Yeah.
theme. There's a theme in my life.
Yeah.
And it's
I
colon
never
blow.
knew that.
Whitney and her
It's
colon
colon
blow. It's colon blow.
Oh my
It's the
goodness.
theme.
Colon blow.
Oh man.
It's good.
I
Oatmeal's good.
As far as oatmeal is good. That's why I still rely on Cliff Bars quite a bit. I will say, like, before a race, I will have like that stupid half we had. I ate 2 of them right before the race because I was so nervous about not having enough fuel. But I was like, I can get these down, and so they're like the old trusty steed that sits me through. So yeah,
The old trusty Steve.
stupid. Thinking of riding into the finish line. Like Cliff Bars.
Oh, wow.
Another beautiful ad right there,
We're gonna
Cliff Bar.
Yeah.
Wrap this whole episode. What are we talking about?
I went from balls to Steve.
Trisha's gonna
Yeah.
redeem us.
Yeah, all right, Trisha, what do you have?
Okay, so I have come quite a long way as well, because for so long, I'm talking years, I would run fasted, which is terrible. I wouldn't recommend it because it was fine until it wasn't. And then
Yeah.
I like crashed and burned hormone wise. So now I always have something, and it really depends on how much time I have before I run. So because I get up really early to run, and some days it's like, I'm getting up and I'm getting out the door. And on those days, it's either like a banana or dry cereal. Cinnamon Chex is my thing.
Oh,
Like,
nice.
Ooh,
it's
good
so
idea.
good. Yeah, so good. And that I could absolutely eat an entire box of. But and it's
Yeah.
I just
What's
look
the
for like
fiber
quick,
content on
plain
that?
carbs. I don't think it's that bad. I don't think. But on days when I have more time, or races, oatmeal, and just like old fashioned oats, just like, the creepy guy on the front.
Oh my
Baker. So just plain oats.
He's creepy. He's like a
Oh
cute
my gosh.
man, right?
Oh,
Maybe I
in
gotta
my
look up
head-
more.
I don't know. Right.
In my
No.
there's a picture of him, and it's him, and then he's got 2 breast pumps attached to him, and it's like, this is how you get oat milk, and you will never not see that. So when you say the Quaker man, I'm like, oh yeah,
Yes.
Quaker.
Yeah,
That's what it's called.
yeah. He fueled me
Yeah.
this morning. Yeah, so I just do like plain oats. Straight from the tit of the Quaker man.
You were supposed to redeem us, Trisha. What?
You should have gone to Shanna. Okay.
No,
So,
no.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make us sound really hard.
And I'll do honey. So just like oats with some honey, some cinnamon. If I have time.
Oh.
Like, that's not something that I'm throwing back 10 minutes before I'm out the door. Like this morning I had it like an hour before I did a trail.
Yeah.
run. So
I am bad
goodness.
about you should
coffee.
eat. You should eat about an hour before, but I am bad about that. It's usually like right
so
before I go out
hard.
the door. Yeah, it's
Right,
so hard.
especially
I
if
don't
you're
wake
up
up hungry.
early. Like,
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Trisha,
Right.
you wake up at like 4, right? Like,
right. Yeah. So
Like,
I'm
I
not
can't-
getting up at 3 a.m. to eat a bowl of oatmeal.
no,
It's
that's
just
so
not happening.
hard.
Yeah. So that's when I'll like a couple handfuls of dry cereal just to give me something. And then, longer runs, gels. And then I've gotten real adventurous in the ultra world. But
Yeah,
that's
we
a
might
whole other-
table that for another
bars.
Yeah, that's a
discussion.
whole other conversation.
She's like, I just whip up a sweet potato pie and throw it in my backpack, and
Yeah.
good to
oh my
go.
gosh.
Watch our YouTube channel if you want the reactions, okay?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Shanna just acted that out beautifully. All right, Shanna, redeem us. Here we go.
Yeah, please redeem.
Oh, she's like
Redeem.
Cheez-Its and Diet Coke every morning.
I eat
Oh my
nothing.
gosh.
I eat nothing. Run fasted. Eating
Just
for
kidding,
the
right?
week.
I'm on
I
keto.
am trying to get better at that though. Like I'm the same way. Like I like to sleep till like literally the last snooze alarm I can, because my sleep is like, I'm lucky if I get 6 like most times. It's so hard. I have so much to do at nighttime just to catch up from
Yes,
the daytime that I couldn't do.
I'm sure you do.
But yeah, I either do like graham crackers, like those are really just like they're easy on your stomach. The Scooby-Doo snacks. Like
Oh,
those
yeah.
are good.
Yeah.
So they're graham crackers too, but it's like a little bit of flavor, so it's a little mix up. I'll do like one of those like for before like a 60-minute run, something that's light. And then like for like long runs, I'll do like the same as you, Whitney. I'll do like a bagel or something simple like that with like peanut butter, honey, half a banana. And then like before my like races, I usually do oatmeal, which makes me kind of nervous because I did kind of like have like a little bit of GI distress on my last race, but it wasn't like severe enough to where it felt uncontrollable. But I wonder if it's because I did oatmeal. So I'm like kind of wondering because it was just like the little packet ones. And I did 2 of those, but I woke up like 3 hours before. I was like, I'm going to let this like digest as much as possible. And then I did a half a banana. I go heavy before race days because my CIM race last year, I was so hungry my whole race, like just starving from the start. So with grandma's race, I was just like, yeah, I did an oatmeal. And then I did also too the e-fuel. So like a high carb drink is another good one that I use. Like if you can't stomach like actual food, I'll do that sometimes before like a workout. If it's like a really early morning workout, I'll do like just a drink with high carbs. And my stomach will do pretty well on that. But yeah,
that's a great tip for people who have issues with is to
drinks
drink
are
it.
So good. Yeah.
All right. So let's redeem ourselves for during like a hard workout, long run, marathon. What have you guys? What's your tried and true? Because I'm sure I've tried like a million gels.
Yes,
and I'm sure you guys have
I feel like
too.
you and Trisha probably should start because you guys have done so many marathons and races.
I decided I really like UCAN. I used to be Martin. I used to mix Martin with or Morton or however you say it with I would do a Human Gel Plus, which also has sodium. So you want to shoot if you're doing carbs, like you want to shoot for about 60 grams of carbs per hour. This is like very rough guidelines, and then about 400 milligrams of sodium. Again, very, very rough guidelines. There's so many different variables. I am not an RD. I've just worked with them. But and so the Human Gel Plus has the sodium in it that you're looking for. So I'll mix that in. And then I usually drink noon. But I really have started to like UCAN because UCAN it has steady energy. It's not a whole bunch of sugar, which honestly I don't really care about. But what I do care about is that it lasts for about 75 minutes. Instead of having to take something every 30 minutes, you can take a UCAN like every 75. And so I really like that. And then get the sodium from your drink or salt tabs or something like that. So that's what I've been using. And it's not like I feel the only gel I've ever taken where I took it and I was like, whoa, I have a burst of energy is a Science and Sport.
Interesting.
Yeah, but it was almost like it hit me suddenly. It was weird and I felt really lightheaded. But like I remember I looked down at my watch and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm running really fast and this doesn't feel like it. But it didn't last.
Was it a caffeine one or just their plain?
I think there was caffeine in it.
Oh,
yeah,
crazy.
But it like
they have a high caffeine one.
I've been interested in that brand.
One of them does.
Maybe that's what it was.
I got it by accident, and it was like
that must have been what I did.
It was like 150 grams or something of caffeine.
Okay.
It was high.
Most of them are 100. That must be what it was. It hit suddenly, and I was like,
"You're like, hey, it worked."
Yeah,
it worked.
Right.
I was like, and so I think I took that like at mile 21 or something.
They're high in carbs too, aren't they? Like 30 plus.
The beta gel has 40 grams.
Oh, the beta. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I know one of their gels are high. I've been so curious about that brand.
All right, well, give it. Maybe I'll give it a try because right now I'm just using a UCAN.
Yeah, it's a great brand. UCAN's great.
It is great. People really like it, and for the athletes that I coach that have stomach issues, they've had really good luck with UCAN because it is cornstarch instead of sugar, so it's not as hard on the GI tract.
Yeah.
So okay. That's my hopefully I redeemed us. We didn't laugh for like 5 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Didn't make any like dirty jokes. Okay, what about you, Trisha?
Oh, so yeah, I've used so many over the years, but I feel like the past couple of years it's been pretty consistent with Puma, Morton, and then this past year I really like Sis.
Okay.
Yeah, the Beta gel I like a lot because and they're very liquidy, so it's not like
You like drink
thick.
it almost. Yeah.
Yeah. And same with the Huma gel. I think those are really easy to go down. And then as far as electrolytes, I like Elementy or Element, whatever, however you pronounce it.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like 1,000 milligrams of
It's a
sodium
lot.
in
Yeah.
one pack. Yeah. So I like
Yeah.
those.
Do you ever use Scratch Lab in your ultras?
Oh, you know
or
what?
like Tailwind or anything?
I've used Scratch before, and I really like Scratch too.
I do
Okay.
too.
Uh,
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like Scratch. But Tailwind I haven't used. Liquid IV I'll use.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Love
yeah.
that one.
We actually
Yeah, but
drink
yeah,
just
the
a
system's
ton of
good.
Gatorade in our family, and I know it's bad because it's like got food coloring and stuff, but like we are such a Gatorade family. Like every time we
Whatever.
run out, people are like, "Where's the Gatorade?"
We all grew
Sorry.
up on it.
Let you
We're still
down.
kicking.
Right.
True.
All right, what do you guys like? Olivia, she's gonna be like applesauce pouches all the
Applesauce,
way.
nonstop.
Maybe
Give me all the applesauce. So I actually am not adventurous with my gels at all. Well, a big thing for me was even having to get used to gels in the first place. It was just such a mental hurdle to get over consuming calories while running. And so much of that came from like being a dancer. Like I would have never, like, it's so hard to explain, but like I would have never had food like, I mean, maybe, no, not even, like, maybe some candy in the middle of a performance, like on performance days. But so the idea of like consuming food during the middle of a race was like, it was so hard to wrap your mind around. And then, so I started off with goo, and I felt like that's my tried and true. And I was actually using goo up until Grandma's Marathon. And then that's when I changed over to, I think Shanna gave me a couple of the Crank Sports e-gels. That's how I got tried them, and I just noticed a huge difference right away with just more sodium and more carb content. And also with goos, it's a lot of similar properties. It's just with goos I had to take so many more because it just wasn't as high in calories, and that was where like the mental aspect I was able to change that, like consuming way more calories while I was running was benefiting me so much more, and way more carbs was benefiting me. And then because I've never tried like salt chews or anything like that, and I'm still nervous too. And then I don't do anything with caffeine because I've always felt like I'm just a sugar addict outside of running, and so like my stomach has always been really good with a really high sugar content, but I felt like I'm really regimented in how much coffee I have because I've always, I don't know. I mean, it doesn't really, I don't have like a sip of coffee and have to go to the bathroom. I just finished my coffee here and I'm still sitting here. If you haven't noticed. So, no, but I'm always like, if I was to take like a heavy dose of caffeine, would that stimulate me too much? And so I've never really tried any, maybe I've had a goo with some caffeine in it, but, and then, yeah, I did try one of those gels one time, but I spit it out because I didn't like it. But it was like the apple flavor or something. It was very chunky, whatever it was. I wonder if I got a bad one because
I know,
it was like literally
that doesn't
chunky.
sound right.
Yeah.
Jeez, and it was during a half marathon, and I was bonking so hard. So I was next to this guy, and I was like, "This is effing disgusting." Look at me watching my F words after having swears this whole time. I was like, "This is effing disgusting," and I like threw it away. Like, and so after that, I've always had a hard time trying them again. But anybody I've talked to is like, they're not chunky. So I don't know.
Yeah,
So weird.
that's not right.
So yeah, that's why I've never been super adventurous trying out anything new. But I will say I've had no GI issues with Crank Sports. I've had, like, they work for me right now. And so that's why I just have no interest in trying any. I mean, I have interest. I would try something new if it was like all I had. But yeah, the liquid ones I feel like would be a little harder for me just because I'm not used to it. Because right now I feel like the gel, it's like a slower intake, so you have a couple of, like, you get into the rhythm of running and eating it at the same time. So yeah, I think that I should probably just try something else. But I feel like sometimes when if I find something that works, I lock in on it. So, because I always hear people talking about trying in new ones, and I'm like, I couldn't. I like this one.
Well, if it works for you,
Right.
it works for you, you know?
Yeah.
So-
Why
All
try
right,
it if
Shanna.
it's already working?
Yeah. If
Yeah.
it ain't broke, why fix it? All right, Shanna, what do you do?
So yeah, I'm currently using Crank Sports. I mean, I don't really have like any bad negatives with like I use UCAN and I love the consistency of that. I used Huma a few times, and then I've even used a spring gel, which I know that's gotten a bad rap, but their caffeine one is like my favorite because Crank Sports doesn't have a caffeine one right now, so I'll throw that into the mix. I can't remember what it's called. It's like the yellow orange looking one. But I'll do that. And then lately I've been throwing in, my husband got this gum. It's called Neuro Gum. And it's like 80 milligrams of caffeine. But I'm not kidding you guys. It's like the whole, you know, the ketone IQ where people like, it makes you so focused. This gum, I will pop it in mid workout, especially like these workouts that are like marathon workouts where you're doing like 4 mile reps, you know. I'll pop it in like after my second rep and it hits because you're chewing it. So it hits instantly. And it like literally like just like takes the fatigue, like almost like delays the fatigue like on your mind and your body. It's wild.
Wow.
Maybe I'm crazy, but my husband's like, he's like, I don't know how I feel about it. I don't like the taste of this, but I'm like, it just tastes like peppermint gum. And I've been doing it on my workouts, and it seriously like I didn't take it last Saturday on my run. I was like, dang, the whole time I was like, I wish I had this gum. But yeah, that might be one that you guys might try and see if I'm like crazy or what. But
I'm intrigued.
yeah, I've been using that like in the mix. I don't let that like obviously it doesn't have like calories or carbs or anything like a caffeine gel. So I'll probably, if I do take it for CIM, it'll be with a gel. You know what I mean? Because you want to make sure you're still getting those carbs per hour. Yeah, that was like one thing I failed on my first marathon is like I was so focused on just taking 2 gels an hour when it was like, no, but how much is in that gel? Like how much sodium is in that gel? How much carbs are in that gel? How many calories? And that's like where my mind is starting to just shift now is like, okay, sometimes maybe you may need 3 gels per hour, you know, and there's no shame to that. So, yeah, I like that you mentioned like the general guideline of like carbs and, your calories and things like that, because I feel like that's something that a lot of us runners may not think about as like amateurs is like, okay, it's not just 2 gels an hour. It's what's in your product. Like really look at your gels. Like if you like them, okay, make sure you have enough of those per hour to get you through, you know, at your best potential. But
yeah, because what's tricky is a lot of them, except for, well, I know Human Gel Plus includes enough sodium.
yeah.
But most of them don't have a ton of electrolytes in them. And so then that's when you have to think about your fluids as well, or chews or something like that. What about caffeine? Do you guys, I know Olivia said you don't. Do you guys use it in a race?
100%. I'm a big caffeine fan.
Yeah.
I need that
That's
gum.
awesome.
Yeah, the gum sounds
I
amazing.
should mail you some.
So yeah, so
Send
Sheena
your
said
address.
you've
I'll
used
mail
it
you
in
guys
the
one.
gum.
Okay.
Do you use it in a gel ever? Like,
Yeah.
when do you guys use it, and like what mile do you typically take it? Because I usually, if I have one, I mix it in, and it's like I think mile 16 when I'm starting to fade.
Yeah, that's probably right around when I take it, like mile 15, mile 16, because I hear like the gels take a few minutes to, sorry, take
If
a
you
few
guys
minutes
can
to
hear,
hit.
my husband sings a song to our older dog when he feeds her. So sorry if you can hear that in the background.
Cute.
I'm trying to mute my mic, but it wasn't working. So if you guys hear
That's
that, I'm
okay.
sorry.
My daughter was in here earlier playing on her computer, so got it right here. Oh yeah.
You can hear he's
my
there.
gosh.
I don't know.
Oh,
Sorry.
that's so cute.
Okay, sorry. Totally got off track there.
Yeah,
But they're
the
fueling.
caffeine.
The dogs are fueling. So
Yeah, they are.
Is, I feel
So
like the
with the
last
caffeine,
marathon. Yeah, go ahead.
oh, I was gonna say with the caffeine, like, what do you like? Like, what's the benefit of taking it? And at miles, like, do you feel like it wakes you up? Is it just the
Yeah.
conjunction of the gel, or what? Like, Trisha, you probably were about to answer exactly what I'm asking.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's definitely been like studies that show it can like decrease your perception of fatigue,
Yeah.
and pain. So, but then also give you that like boost to be able. And I feel like especially I don't know about with you two, but when it hits when you're running, it's like, whoa. Like I don't
Yeah,
get that feeling
that's how I
just
feel.
drinking coffee in the morning. But it's like, yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
I
With
could
the
just go
fifth
forever.
one I did, I usually take a Martin, or that's typically what I do, and I don't really feel it that much. But yeah, I mean, it's like the most well-studied and legal performance-enhancing drug, caffeine is.
Yeah.
So use it, but use it carefully because you don't want, like, if you take too much of it and you don't experiment with it on your training runs, then it can really backfire because then you're getting jittery and you're getting breathless and it has the opposite effect of what
Yes.
you want. So
Right.
That's my
Yeah, 'cause
fear.
some of them are
That's
so
exactly
high.
it. I'm like,
you just need to practice with
Yeah.
it.
yeah.
Yeah, and start low. Like I know Huma makes one that it's, I don't know, 25 milligrams or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah,
Mhm.
25.
So I
That's
would
usually a good
start
amount.
low.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
when you're first
Where
starting,
like
that's
Morton is
definitely
like 100.
yeah,
Oh,
it's so crazy. It's a lot.
yeah, it is.
Okay, real quick. Let's go around, do round robin and tell me what your like best post run like recovery meal is. I'll start. I realized today that mine is like an egg sandwich. Usually I have a smoothie, but I found that I just feel so much better if I have real food as my like my recovery meal. So I had eggs with, well, I did have a smoothie with it too, but eggs with toast and some avocado. And like, it's like that I feel I have, then I'm like fine for the rest of the day. Like no energy lags, like I'm good to go. But if I come in and I drink only a smoothie, then my energy kind of wanes and sometimes my stomach gets a little jacked up. And so that's what I like. Real food is the best.
Mhm. Well, actually, with that being said, I like with the real food thing really quick. I feel like I'm gonna jump back into gels just for 1 second. I feel like I'm seeing a lot of things lately that are like people are having gels more than ever, which is so awesome. But I'm also wondering sometimes, and where people talk about run fasted and it's just because they don't wake up in time and things like that, or like they didn't have an appetite, which is something that I deal with all the time. So I'm like, oh, I wonder what they did. And it seems like there's a lot of like supplementing your calories with gels just during a run, not all the time, just for the long run or something like that. And what I noticed that helps so much is when I even think about my carb intake with real food the night before and then the morning of, that I'll feel so much better after my run too, because I didn't just have gels, like the gels, they should work with your food, with what you already are eating. That's why sometimes I think a lot of people also have GI issues from having gels, is if you're taking them on an empty stomach, like of course your stomach is going to cramp. You just put goo in there,
Like sugar, straight up
and
sugar. Yeah.
yeah. So, I have a really hard time though sometimes eating after I run. Like it's crazy. So like protein shake right off. Like my husband is always like 30 minutes, you got to get it in 30 minutes, like protein
Yeah,
shake
within
right
30
off.
minutes is ideal.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. As far as best recovery meal, I don't know, but I always want a quesadilla after.
Love that Mexican
It always sounds
food.
so good. I know. I love Mexican food, amigas. Yeah.
What about you guys?
Mine is like a Jimmy John's, like the box meal. Like, so it comes
Ooh.
with like I get
Oh,
the number
yeah.
12 with everything on it, and then I get like their big cookie. And then I usually do like a
good.
core power protein with it. That's like, obviously I'm not gonna go and buy Jimmy John's all the time, but when I'm in thinking marathon training, I have like a higher mileage week. That's like my go-to. I'm just like
That
quick and
sounds
easy,
so good.
get it in.
That does
Yeah.
sound good.
It always
have
does
to
a
go.
spot. Sandwich, a good
Mhm.
sandwich with everything on it. That's
That was my
my
New
favorite.
Year's resolution, was to start eating more sandwiches.
Yeah.
Because
They're
I
just
love
That's
so
a
sandwiches.
really
good.
great resolution.
Yeah.
That's so specific.
I love it.
I just love a good
I love it.
sandwich, you know?
I do
Yeah.
too. It's so good.
All right, Trisha.
Yeah. So
What's your
I
favorite?
used to be smoothies like for years, and then I really burnt myself out on them. And I did, like I would notice, like just because it's not like food you're chewing, it just my
Yeah.
stomach would feel. So lately it's been like a yogurt bowl, just like loaded. Like I'll mix like Greek
Oh,
yogurt
yeah.
and protein powder to just like really jack up the protein content. And then I'll add like nut butter, granola, berries, like I'll just load it up. So that's been my
So
go-to
great.
recently. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like an egg sandwich, that's a good one too.
I know, that's a good idea. I haven't had an egg
Mhm.
sandwich in a long time.
Yeah, that's
It's
a good
easy to
one.
make too, which
Do you
is
just
nice.
like
Yeah,
make
so
a bulk
easy.
in advance and then you just have it ready to go, or do you
I
make it
just
like on the
fried
spot?
up 2 eggs.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Just fried up 2
Crazy.
eggs and put it on toast with an avocado.
Yum.
And it
That
was
sounds
Yeah.
so good.
That's
delightful.
what I had
And
for breakfast.
see, egg
Yeah.
sandwiches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Olivia,
Well,
I think you made a really good point too that I just wanted to hit with just like the mental toughness when it comes to fueling. And I don't like I
cool.
definitely experienced that too, just with like history of eating disorders and things like
Mhm.
and that was really hard for me. And even now, like I'll have to check myself sometimes, especially if I'm
Mhm.
running with other people that aren't fueling. I'm like, okay, know that it's okay. Like I can still fuel. And
Yes.
even
Right.
like
Yes.
with
Yeah.
years of fasted running, I thought I was doing myself some kind of a favor. But I think one of the biggest things that I noticed when I started fueling before, during, and after is that like Whitney, what you mentioned, you don't experience that crash in the afternoon.
Uh-huh.
Like I would crash so
Mhm.
hard. So
Mhm.
I feel and my like recovery is so much better the day after. Like there's just it's a hard thing sometimes
So
I think for
true.
people to grasp is fueling before and taking in all of these calories when a
Mhm.
lot of us grew up in an era where, you know, calories are bad.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. And
It's
like a
so
lot of
true.
people get into running because they want the weight loss. And so they're like,
Mhm.
wait, why am I
Right.
erasing all this hard work? But if you're running, especially for performance,
Yeah.
and you're running for longer than an hour, like you need that to help you recover so that you can turn around and run more. You know, if you're tired,
Mhm.
then you're going to end up not running as much as you wanted to had you been running fasted, or you end up getting injured, or it's just then it becomes like a cycle.
Mhm. Yeah.
So
Exactly.
It's been my number one, absolutely my number one game changer. Just just fueling while I run and just seeing way more consistency. Just like, because during my Chicago marathon build, which was in 2023, I had like really, really successful long runs. And I had some where I just felt like absolute garbage. And I know exactly what it is. It's because some days I just didn't bring gels. And I've gone on so many runs too, even with Shanna, while, it's an easy run. And she's like, I'm just going to take 3 gels today, I think, and it's like, I didn't even bring any, and so she'll give me some and because she'll have extra in her car. And I'm like, that's so funny. Like to me, it didn't even cross my mind because it was an easy run. And then I go home though, and I feel like a normal person versus feeling like, oh, we just ran for 2 hours. Like, we covered this much mileage. So it's still such a learning process for me. Running like completely fixed my relationship with food, but there's still sometimes those very small things that just pop up. And it's not anything like, I don't think it's not coming from a place of like gels are bad, gels have calories, gels have carbs. It's not from that for me anymore, but it is just a forgetful thing because it's not in my habit as much. And now it is, thank goodness, but it wasn't even
I'm
even
kind of
6
like
months
that
ago.
too. Like
Yeah.
even
Mhm.
Totally.
if I'm not training for something,
Mhm.
I'm like, if it's just easy miles, like
Yeah.
anything 16 and below, I'm like, I don't need to fuel for. And then I have to tell
Mhm.
myself like how much better I
Right.
feel when I fuel before, during, and after. Because anybody
Mhm.
that starts to dial in on their fueling, I bet they will tell you like that it is a game changer as far as their recovery and their energy level goes. And as moms, like we need that energy. We're not laying on the
Yes.
couch when we come in from our long
Mhm.
run. You know how amazing would it be, but we can't do that. So if you want to be a productive human, you gotta fuel.
Yep.
Agree.
The end.
That's true.
Drop the
The
mic.
end.
Right.
All right. Do you guys want to switch gears and do our little question of the week?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or does anybody need a ventilator this week? No. No. Trisha's like, except for the men who want to kick soccer balls at my forehead. Yeah.
Yes. Keep your balls to yourself, guys. Come on.
Wow. Ain't that the truth?
Shanna, 6 kids later.
Oh my
Kicking
gosh.
balls.
Oh my gosh.
The big balls, little balls, heavy balls.
Balls.
Okay, so my question for sweaty balls. My question for you guys is what's like the thing that you're loving about running this week that's like really bringing you joy?
You want me to go?
Okay, do you want
I'll
okay,
go.
good. Yeah, go.
Because I just felt so happy after my run this morning. So I went in and met a friend in Richmond and ran trails today, and it was like perfect weather. The leaves were absolutely beautiful, and I was like, oh my God, I could run all day. Like, you just have those runs. It's like, I just love this so much. It was so trails, like, and fall weather.
Perfect combo.
The combo.
Like, can't get better than that.
Shanna, do you have one?
Yeah, I love marathon training. Like, I love the long extended workouts, like on a Wednesday or Tuesday that you're just 15 miles or 16 miles and you're just like, I got that done. Like, but I had one of those this week and it just was like so fulfilling. Like, I don't know. I just like woke up last night I had like this like really vivid dream that I PR'd and I was like, thought it was real. So I woke up to go look up my my photos for the race. I was like, oh wait, that was a dream. I was so sad.
Oh my God,
it's totally for real. I was telling my husband, I was like, dang it, I can't even claim that PR because it was just a dream. But I love this week is just like reminding me like it's so much even more than just the PR. Like it's the process that I just absolutely have fallen in love with, and I haven't felt that in a really long time. So yeah, I love it. I love the grind of training right now, and it's so much fun whether I hit my goal or not. Like this is why I do it, So yeah.
Ooh, I love that process focused mindset.
Yeah, I
That's
love that.
beautiful.
Yeah, that's
Olivia,
so
what
great.
about you?
Wait, you say yours first because I'm still thinking.
Okay. I would say I love running. I just started doing workouts a couple weeks ago and they're so like I don't know. I'm struggling with like, okay, this is what I used to do, Whitney. Don't worry about what you used to do. Focus on and the dosage of what my coach is giving me is perfect. And I came into them like really afraid of like, oh my God, what if my speed is gone? What if I don't have it anymore? And each one is feeling so good and I feel it coming back and I feel that confidence coming back and the rust coming off and my body like remembering how to run fast again. And it's just like, I've just been through the ringer and it's so, this sport is just, it does, Olivia, you said, I think in a couple episodes ago, like the sport pays you back and it really, really does. And it's so fun. And I love it. Like I love doing the workouts and I love doing the long runs and I am focused on the process, not the outcome. Like I'm really trying to shift away from the outcome and just I love it day in, day out. And the fall weather has been amazing here on the East Coast. And so it's super it's crazy how like you go and you do something super strenuous and then you're just like energized the rest of the day. It's like it's like yesterday I took a rest day and I didn't have that much energy. And then today, I ran like 17 miles in the morning. I'm like, all right, what are we doing, family? It's just like, okay, you have that like run high, So I'm loving running in general. That's what it is.
Oh, I'm so glad for you.
That.
Yeah.
That's so good. That's so nice.
Thank you.
And your workout win too. That's so exciting. Like to be able to push past like what you used to do and focus where you're at now and be proud of yourself. Like that is such a huge accomplishment to get to. Like I'm just so happy like that you're feeling that for yourself.
Thank you. Yeah, it's hard. It's definitely hard, but it's like, I think sometimes we can glamorize the past.
Yeah.
And, I'm I probably
remember
didn't feel
it better
that I might
than it
have.
was.
Yeah, it's like the numbers may have looked good. And I'm like, I'm sure I was dragging and I was overtraining and I wasn't. And now it's like, okay, I leave energized and ready for more. And that's really how you should feel in a workout. You should not be going to the well and feeling like you're, burning the candle at both ends or whatever. So I don't mean that in a full and blow. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Bring it back to the colon blow.
Cycle though, like legit, I've had coaching like that where I literally felt like I was
Yeah.
running on a flat tire. Like,
Totally. It's
Oh,
like your
yeah.
legs are just
miserable.
dead and you're like, oh, the taper will be magical. And then it's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
Totally. All right,
So
Olivia,
true.
you're in the hot seat.
All right. Oh, I actually had a really rough running week, so that's why I'm like, I don't know. I don't got
Okay,
nothing.
be
I don't
honest.
know,
We're
but
giving you the
I am.
ventilator.
Yeah.
No, I'm like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
need a ventilator. No, I think because right now I'm so focused on the outcome. Like when you just said that, I think that's the problem is I'm really I'm hyper focused on the outcome. I think with racing, I think it's everything that we've ever talked about on this podcast. It's like the comparison, the mom guilt. And so our race is getting really, really close. And I'm just feeling like there's a big thumb on me to like have this pressure. And I don't know, it's completely self-inflicted. Like I'm well aware of that. But it's just, yeah, I think I'm just struggling with like, what is my outcome going to be? Because, you know, I tried to go and do this half marathon not that long ago and it was just like a total failure. And then I feel like I'm watching everybody just PR left and right and all these things. And so I'm just feeling like just so much pressure. Like, am I even going to PR? You know, and the only reason I say that is because my growth currently, I'm just starting. So that's why I do expect myself to PR. And if I'm traveling, I'm taking my time away from my family, all these things, like I do want to succeed at this race and I do want to enjoy it. You know, I don't want to bonk at mile 18. I have all these things that I do expect from myself just because it is a lot of time and money and all this stuff I'm investing. So I think this week it was just like a big fat pile for me to think of like, okay, we're like 5 weeks out. Like, where am I at? So, but if I really think about like what's happening is like you said, you're finding like the joy in running again. Like running should be fun. You should look forward to your workouts. You should feel good at the end of them. And like I did my long run in the middle of the week this week, but I got to do it outside. I actually did it at like 11 a.m. So I had time to eat beforehand. I spent time with my family. I got a bunch of laundry done. And then I went out and I ran. And then I still had like all this energy to go and do fun stuff with my kids, which was amazing. And so that that was a huge win for me. So if I really think about like there are so many wins that you can focus on versus focusing on all the negative or like, where am I, and questioning all these things. So like I said, I'm the chatty one, sorry. But that's where my brain was. Like, I don't know. I had a really rough week. So I was on the treadmill every day. So other than that long run. So that's why.
I don't know. I just want to say this because I kind of had like a similar, you guys are all friends with Nick Klostava. I think I said his last name. And he and I had to go. He's amazing.
Yeah,
He's
shout
so
out, Nick.
amazing. Yeah, heart hands. He and I were texting, and he was like, you know, because I've never performed well in a race. Like I've just never performed to. There's always something that has happened. And you know, I feel like I have like an axe to grind, like something to prove. And he's like, you have nothing to like the journey, all of your hard work that you have put in is something to be proud of. And Olivia, I challenge you to think of it that way. Cause I look at how hard you work. Like you're opening the fruit snacks on the treadmill, like running on a treadmill in the middle of the day with your kids there and you still having to mom is like so freaking hard. And it's something that like you really should be proud of. I mean, I saw your workout. Your workouts are incredible and long and like all the work that you've put in this training and everything that you made, like that is something to be proud of. Nobody cares. Like we do care. We want you to do well, but nobody cares if you PR or not. Like that doesn't change all the work that you put in to that point. So I just want you to
appreciate that.
Soak that in a little.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I know. I appreciate that a lot. I told myself that on the treadmill the other day too. I was like, the only person that's caring this much is you. Like, not even the two little humans that keep asking about things. And my husband, like, he just wants me to be happy, you know, and like, it's just me. Like, that's so, like, it's like the idea of Strava, like, as if like what we post on there matters to anybody else. It doesn't. Like,
no,
it really doesn't. If anybody's, oh, sorry, Shanna, go ahead.
No, and the people that do care, like, like they probably have the wrong intentions anyways, because they're probably
That's exactly
comparing
what I was gonna
themselves
say.
to you. Like, so
Yes.
at the end of the day, they're
Right.
struggling with it on their own terms. And it's almost like if they're so obsessed with what you're doing and how your training's looking and how your progress is, they're either very inspired by you and they don't care even if you miss your goal because they know you'll go for it again in the future, or they're intimidated by what you're doing, you know? And so at the end of the day, like it really is like it really I mean we all are guilty of like, you know, feeling like we have to prove something to people. Like I'm there, like I'll be honest, like I put my goal out there and like CIM, if it doesn't happen and I get like a 252 again, you know, it is what it is. But I also talked to my husband yesterday about this because I was like, man, I'm kind of nervous because I just don't see anything translating. But he was like, well, there's going to be a point where you don't PR at a marathon and that's normal. Like, and I was like, wait, that's true. And you're not even like a runner, but you get it, you know? So, I mean, we're all going to have those good and bad days. And at the end of the day, like, that's not going to stop you from not showing up again. So it's like, why do we put this pressure on ourselves to reach this goal, knowing that we will have bad races, but it's not going to stop us because we like the process. Like, we're going to keep coming back, you know?
That's so true. That's so true. Well, sorry, I didn't mean to be negative.
So
But
no, you weren't.
I will say
real.
positive.
No, you
Mom
weren't.
talk.
It's
Right.
totally not. Yeah.
Um,
We've all been there.
Yeah.
Totally.
This is real
Oh, yeah.
talk.
100%.
It's real
Yeah.
talk. Yeah. That's if you're listening to this podcast, it's because you want the real talks. That's what this is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's on that note, if you're listening to this podcast and you like it, please give us a review, a rating. Please subscribe. Like that really does help us. Tell your friends. We are really wanting to grow. And so I'm going to share a review that just came in a couple days ago. It's a 5-star review.
Ooh.
Incredibly relatable. I have been searching for a podcast just like this. The content's so relatable, and you can surely identify with at least one of the personalities. I love the range of running backgrounds each mom has. Some are lifelong, and some just picked it up in adulthood. I can honestly say this is the first podcast I actually look forward to each week and can't wait for the next episode. Thank you. How sweet is that?
That's so
So nice.
Like we're recording this on a Sunday. I'm going to ride high on that
Yeah.
review like for the rest of the week.
Me too.
Thank you.
Do they leave a name? That's
No. So the way the Apple
Aw.
is, you can't. So this is in the Apple podcast. It doesn't or iTunes. It doesn't say who. So whoever left that, thank you.
That's
You just
awesome.
made our week. Yeah, thank you.
Wow, that's my positive running thing from
There you go.
There
There
you
you
go.
go.
Review. No, I'm just kidding. That's so
No,
nice.
it's not.
That's so
It's
great.
not Skittles and Sunshine every week for sure. So thank you for being real with us, Olivia.
Yeah.
And thank you everyone for listening. And we will talk to you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.